Hello there guys. Now, a bit of a different one today. We're going to be working on this car right here. Now, if you haven't been a viewer of the channel for a good couple of years now, you probably don't even know what this car is. So this is actually a V12, yes, a 6-litre V12 BMW 760Li, and it's a car that I've kind of had in the background, like I said, for a good couple of years now. I haven't really done anything with it. Other projects have kind of taken priority, but I am gonna start working on this thing once more. We're gonna get it finished off so then we can finally get it up for sale. So not only are we going to be doing some work on this car today, we're also going to be giving this Think Car scan tool a bit of a review as well. Now, I've been getting some comments lately asking, why is this thing way jacked up at the rear and why is it so low at the front? Yeah, just look how big this arch gap is at the back. You can probably get a good 2 fists in there. So if you know these cars, you'll know that they have, well, they have air suspension at the rear, but this car has dynamic drive as well, which is kind of BMW's early self-leveling suspension. So the fact that it is way jacked up at the rear and way low at the front, I knew that there was an issue with that dynamic drive system. However though, I have checked inside of the wheel arch. You're not going to be able to see in there right now, but it looked to me that at least one or maybe even both of the front springs are actually snapped. It's a common problem when, you know, a car's been sat for, you know, any amount of time. If there is any rust on those springs, when you go to drive it again, the springs can end up just snapping. So yeah, I think that's more than likely what's happened. So I'm going to have to probably source a couple of springs. But then with regards to the dynamic drive system, I am going to be giving the car a good scan today. I want to see what fault codes are showing up. And hopefully we can see any other issues that this car has as well, because yeah, I did do a hell of a lot of work on this car, like I said, about 2 years ago. And I don't think it requires a lot to get this thing back up and running and back on the road. So just inside of the beast now, and before I give the car a scan and do a bit of a review on this ThinkScan 689BT diagnostic tool, this scan tool does not have any kind of subscription fees. So if you are thinking about getting one of these scan tools and you're thinking, oh, am I going to have to pay a subscription fee? No, you're not, don't worry. But then let's get this thing unpackaged, and then let's get it plugged in and give this BMW 760Li a good scan. Okay then, so in this pouch right here, we have the Think Car scan tool itself. It's of course touchscreen, and I love this. This is great. This is obviously the OBD reader itself, but it's magnetic. So you shouldn't be losing this thing. It just magnetizes to the back right there. Have a little stand so we can, I don't know, put it up there. So we have an Ethernet cable. I'm guessing this is to do some updates, you know, wired without Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's an adapter there for the Ethernet to USB. We have this thing which says F chassis. Surely that's not BMW, you know, F series. But it well could be, because it's OBD to Ethernet. So could this be for, you know, for the BMW F series stuff? And I'm guessing this is just your charger cable, a USB-C to USB 2, and then a plug so you can plug it into the wall as well. And then yeah, just a Euro plug adapter and US plug adapter as well. So straight out of the box, pretty much have 100% battery, which is good to see. We've obviously got the OBD receiver plugged in. Should probably give some power to the car before we try anything. I'm going to try the auto search. For whatever reason, this never seems to work. It's not a problem. You just generally just go through the, you know, you just choose your manufacturer, then choose your model and whatever. But we'll try the auto search, see if it does work. Okay, so yeah, for whatever reason, that auto VIN, like I said, never seems to work. But I'm just going to go into Diagnose. We're just going to scan the car for any fault codes. BMW, connecting via Bluetooth of course, and let's just go automatically search. Yep, that all seems correct to me. Like I said, I haven't given this car a scan in probably 2 or 3 years, and the battery has gone a little bit low in that time. I do have to, you know, charge the battery every 3 or 4 weeks just to keep it topped up. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of low voltage related codes in here, but yeah, we'll see what it says. A lot of modules on this car, a lot of modules. A lot of things that can go wrong as well. Right, and so, health report. Moment of truth. Yep, I can see a lot of fault codes coming our way. Engine misfires. I know there was, I know it was misfiring slightly when I had to move this car about a year ago or so, but I just kind of put that down to low fuel. I mean, it wasn't misfiring before I parked the thing up. It's had 12 new spark plugs, 12 new injector coils, so I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's, like I said, I think it was just down to low fuel, if anything. I'm not too concerned with that. It doesn't seem to be misfiring now anyway. Yeah, I think a lot of these, like I said, are just from low battery. Pressure control valve rear axle and internal control unit fault dynamic drive. I am going to ignore those for now. We have a lot of electronic ride height control faults. I think what could happen is the car kind of don't know what to do because the springs are snapped on the front. It can't adjust the ride height because they have electronic dampers on the front. Obviously the springs are snapped, so it's going to try and lift it or whatever, and it'll try and lift the rears as well, but obviously the fronts can't be lifted because the springs are snapped and the rears are being lifted. So I'm going to ignore all the suspension faults until I have replaced those 2 springs. But yeah, a lot of these are, I think they're voltage related. Yeah, under voltage. No message. Yeah, these are all just parking sensors. I think there was, again though, I know there was, it did pop up a parking sensor fault, so it could be 1 or 2 bad parking sensors, but again, I think this is largely down to low voltage. Let's just clear them for now anyway. Tell you what, it's a lot quicker using a scan tool like this, you know, as opposed to using something like ISTA. I just don't use ISTA anymore at all. It just takes way too long to load up, way too long to scan your modules, and way too long to clear the fault codes. Using something like this is just a whole lot quicker, easier, and it's much more efficient. You know, you can do coding, you can do programming on this, you can do retrofits. So, you know, having just something like this at your fingertips, as opposed to having to go into, you know, so many different pieces of software, it's just invaluable really. Yeah, so after removing all of those fault codes, we've only just been left with 2. I know obviously you would have to, you know, start up the engine again, run all the systems and that, and then scan again, but I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'm not too concerned at really any of those fault codes, if I'm being honest. I think most of them were just down to a low battery, but it's just good to see what was coming back anyway. But yeah, let's see what else we can do. So if we go into special function, we have, and if we go into chassis, let's see. I don't think it's going to do it actually, but I'm just interested to see if it will do its dynamic drive dance. I don't think it's going to do it. Yeah, it can only be started if there are no longer any faults entered in the fault memory. I don't think it's going to allow me to do it. I'm not surprised as well with 2 front snap springs. Let's just start the engine up. You probably want to hear what this 6-litre V12 sounds like, don't you? To be honest, it sounds very, very quiet, very, very smooth. One of BMW's smoothest engines, I would say. I don't have a pound on me, but I'm fairly confident I could put a pound coin on the engine cover there and it would remain dead still. As you can see, it's not misfiring now. I'm not worried with this engine at all. It's a very reliable engine. I've already sorted, you know, the few common problems that this engine has. The engine in this thing is absolutely sweet. I know that for sure. Yeah, level control system failure. I didn't think it was going to let me do it. Start up successfully, apparently. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do the full dynamic drive dance, but you just saw it a little bit there. But it's cool that this scan tool does allow you to do that though, nonetheless. Not many scan tools will allow you to do that. ARS startup. It's very good actually for determining, you know, exactly where you have an issue with your dynamic drive system. I was trying to tackle the dynamic drive system in this car for a good, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years, and I finally got to the bottom of it. It was the front anti-roll bar. Swapped that out and actually sealed. Basically, I got an anti-roll bar out of a late 2008 model, and I thought I don't want that to leak, so I'm going to seal it all up. I made a video on it if you really care, and fitted it to this car, and yeah, the dynamic drive system fault completely went away after that. So yeah, let's see what else we can do in here. We can check the ride height sensors, we can adjust the ride height, which is again very important. If you have a different ride height from, you know, say the left side to the right side, you can adjust that in here. You can bleed the DSC hydraulics. What else is useful? Steering angle sensor adjustment. That's, you know, a useful feature to have. Let's see what else we have in here. So in the drive, we can delete the engine adaptation values. We can adjust the idle speed, which I don't recommend doing it. You know, on these engines, it should stay just over 500 RPM, about 500-600 RPM. No need to go any higher than those. Transmission control unit oil change. That's definitely worth going into when you are doing a service on these ZF 6-speed transmissions. It should tell you all of the operating temperatures to fill between, and it should tell you the temperature itself. See what else we have in here. Battery modification and battery replacement. So if you put in a different size battery in here, which I did, I think I put the largest size battery, which I think was 104 105 or 115 amp hour battery I think I put in this, and yeah, I had to change that, but I'd done that using, I think I used NCS Expert to do that, and it was a right faff, but yeah, you can do it a lot easier in this scan tool. Let's see what we can do in the coding and programming side of things then. So we can display the VO, the vehicle order, so this should be all of the options on the car basically. So yeah, this is a good way to see which options you were equipped from factory basically. So these are your option codes here. As you can see, Steptronic, Servotronic, self-leveling suspension, adaptive suspension, dynamic drive, electric steering column adjustment, airbags, alarm, soft closing function, comfort glazing, because these have double glazing, these windows, roll of sunblind for the rear window, roll of sunblind, that's for the rear passengers. Floor mat, warning triangle, smoker's package, cup holder, lumbar support, headlight washer, xenon headlights, CD changer, BMW professional radio, and that's basically all of the good stuff. So that's handy to see which options you have, but it's also very good because you can easily code in new options. Let's say, for example, you want to retrofit, say, a heated steering wheel or radar guided cruise control. You can do that. Obviously, you physically fit it, you wire it all up and everything, and you add the option code for it. So I don't know what they are, say it's 345, add the option code in, and then you just code the modules that need coded to accept that system to the car basically. You can also go into personalization just to add a few simple features. So I don't know what this, there probably won't be that many on this car to be honest. Let's have a look in the CAS. It's quite an old car. So for example, panic alarm, you can add the panic alarm, automatically unlock all the doors, you know, open and close the windows after holding down the lock button. Let's see what we have in the combi. Oh, yeah, that's it. Might have a digital speedo and things like that. Oh, no, we don't even have that on here. Just alarm for key, shortlisted. Yeah, on the newer BMWs, you're going to have like, you know, a lot of the simple features that could have been activated from factory, but BMW probably wanted to charge you more for it, or have you back at the dealership to charge you more for it. Obviously, you can just add all those in very, very easy and quickly on here. And that is about it, to be honest, especially for this car. Bear in mind that this car now is 22 years old. That is absolutely wild. It's crazy how this car is 22 years old. I mean, that, like when I was a kid, a 22-year-old car seemed absolutely ancient. But this still feels relatively modern to me. Maybe I'm losing my touch, and maybe I am, you know, way out of way out of touch with things. But yeah, this car still seems pretty new to me. I don't feel like technology has really advanced that much since this car came out. It still has, like, you know, pretty much all the creature comforts you could want. Auto light, auto wipers, has a button for the parking brake. I believe this was one of the first cars ever in production to have that, actually. What else does it have? Dual zone climate control, air conditioning, of course. It did have a tape cassette player, but actually swapped that out for the later CD player. Has a keypad for your phone, so you can just quickly dial a number in if you wish to do that. Missing a piece of trim around here, I need to source one of those. But yeah, like, you know the spec on these cars as standard, it's absolutely crazy. I feel like, you know, a lot of newer cars today, they just are not built to this standard and this quality, you know, that this thing is. But yeah, enough of that anyway. I am going to link, if you want to get yourself one of these Think Car scan tools, I'll leave a link down in the description box below. Feel free to check them out. And now let me take you around the car and discuss pretty much everything that I need to do to it to get it back in a decent state before it's ready to be sold. So as I mentioned, engine wise then, this car literally needs nothing. I can't even remember what I've done on it. I've overhauled the dynamic drive system, has a new reservoir. It's, you know, been serviced religiously by myself. Like I said, all new spark plugs, all new ignition coils, I think new intake manifolds, gaskets. I've deleted the secondary air system. That's why you can see that plug there. Yeah, the air pump and all the pipes and everything, that's all gone. There's blanking plates on the back of the cylinder head. That's a problematic system on these cars, but yeah, I just completely got rid of it, and the engine runs so much better without that on. As I mentioned, it's got the electronic dampers on it. That's why there's got that cable going into the top there. But yeah, I'm going to have to remove those dampers, strip them down, replace the springs. I'm pretty sure I have a set of top mounts to go on there. I think that's what's in these yeah, it is. Yeah, I have all new top mounts to go on there, so I can obviously swap them out when I do the springs. It'll be a proper job then, won't it? So yeah, obviously front springs, top mounts, I'll do them. What else? It's a little bit of paint work needed. It's not on this side, is it? I think this side is absolutely fine. It's on this door here. Slight chip there, and then I can't even see it now. I think the car's just so dirty. Yeah, it's here. There's a slight dent there. So then that was actually there when I bought the car about 5 years ago. So yeah, I've been meaning to get that done. There's a little chip there as well. So whether or not I just get this door painted and blended in, I don't know. I mean, I could sell the car like that. It's nothing major, but if I want it to be looking perfect, then I suppose I'm going to have to do it. Oh, the wheels, they were all freshly refurbished. That's why they look perfect. New genuine BMW centre caps, new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. The tyres alone, they were £1,000, but they are absolutely awesome tyres. It needs a desperate clean. It needs, yeah, it definitely needs some love. Like I said, it's just been sat outside for a long time, but I'm sure the paintwork will come up nicely, especially with a good polish as well. There is still an issue with the boot on this thing as well. It's basically got an electronic boot on it, so you press a button, it's supposed to raise up, but I can't remember if it doesn't raise up or it doesn't go down, one or the other. Basically stripped down the pump, found a stripped cog or gear, replaced that for an aluminium one that my dad made, and yeah, it did fix the issue. Like, it made it boot go down or up, but it just didn't go the other way. So still need to look into that a little bit, but aside from that, I think it's all just very, very minor cosmetic bits. Yeah, it's just been used as a bit of a storage car, this has. I've completely forgot which parts are even in this. I'm sure these are parts for the Mini Cooper S. Yeah, there's all brakes and all sorts in there, but yeah, it's in decent condition, especially inside. It's just missing a few little bits of trim. As I mentioned, that one there that goes around this ash unit, and then I believe I have the later iDrive wheel for this as well. So if I can source a later trim which has the hole there, then I can replace this out and fit that in. and yeah, all should be good then. But yeah, it's yeah, like I said, still in very, very good condition. You wouldn't think this car's 22 years old, would you? But yeah, it's gonna scrub up nicely. Like I said, I've just had other projects which have taken priority. BMW 130i, that's, you know, near on completion now. Next is going to be to get this thing finitoed, and after that I can maybe move on to the BMW E12. Okay then guys, so there we go. Are you excited to see the V12 BMW 760 Li back on the channel? A few small repairs left to do, then we can get it finished off finally and hopefully get it up for sale. Let me know your thoughts down in that comment section below. I want to thank ThinkCar for sending out that scan tool for review as well. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all in that next one.